Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the end of all things, the end of the playthrough and the end of the galaxy. Today, we are going to encourage the Scourge, our saviours, to devour all things in the galaxy, allowing every empire to fall, and then once every other empire has fallen, allowing them to take us as well, because we need this galaxy to be wiped clean to usher in a more perfect and beautiful galaxy in the future, just like what happened on our tomb world. Once it was a world of corruption and sin, and then the entire world got engulfed in flame, and then the lovely snake people arose, which were better people, more pure people, but still not pure enough. We now need it to happen again, and only the endgame crisis can truly allow this to occur. And we'll see what happens if any more events happen with the Scourge. I've stayed spoiler-free, but we'll see how my mind changes if more events do indeed occur, because like the Unbidden will change as time goes on. After they get a certain amount, other factions of the Unbidden will spawn. I don't know what happens with the Scourge, so I really don't know who we're going to serve. But here's the idea. Right now, I think I'm going to end up sacrificing this bit of territory, purely because we need the Scourge to get through here to get to these empires. If we try and fight them off here, we're just getting in their way. They will get through anyway because of the wormholes like over here, but even then, there's going to be an issue. Oh, never mind. Maybe we don't need to do it at all. We can maybe keep this bit of space. That's going to be difficult. Really, what we need is just a good area to defend. So we're soon to go to war with every other empire. We're going to be taking over this section here. Then that means the only way to attack us will be through here, either through the wormhole or just by travelling, and then through this section here and this section here through the wormhole. So 3 areas to protect, and that's it. And then we just sit back, allow them to kill everything else, and make sure we defend long enough that we're the last ones alive. Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. So now to just wait until more things get devoured. Okay, so in 2 years, we're going to war with the entire galaxy, and here's the plan. We are only going to be claiming this territory here. That's all we actually want, nothing else. Purely because if we grab too much, we'll end up getting in the way of the Scourge, and the Scourge seems to tend to follow along certain empire routes. Maybe it doesn't, but either way, we don't want to be in the way of the Scourge until we have to be. Now, when it comes to fleet power, we are really lacking. We have 1 defending fleet here, 2 under construction there, we have 1 defending the wormhole, and enough force count here in, I think, 2 small fleets there, and then 2 under construction, which should be able to easily take out this. Once we have this, our trade values should go up, since then our trade route is very, very secure. This section here will be devoured. We are definitely losing these worlds. Once the Scourge reaches it, we're just going to abandon this completely, and then back off all the way to here. We'll try and defend these 3 systems because the worlds there are just way too valuable. In that case, though, there's no real point of me defending this wormhole, though. I was going to defend this wormhole, but as long as we have a force here, they can't get through anyway, so at least that's one thing we can kind of ignore. Okay, continue. We have about 2 years. Well. Whoa. Okay, remember, we do bonus damage to them, they do less damage to us, and we are counter to them. But still, they are going to really, really hurt us with just sheer force count. They're already here, and since they're moving this way, they are definitely going into our territory already. So what I'm doing is backing off my fleet. We're all going to stay here and fight them off in this section. Hopefully they'll attack us one at a time. I think combined we can easily take out one of those fleets if they attack at the same time. We may lose those fleets, but thankfully our alloy production now is insane, so we can rebuild our fleets quite quickly. This is going to be horrific. Okay, they've gone back through the wormhole and are no longer attacking us, which is great. We are under attack, though, from the Crusaders, who are taking back some of their space. The thing is, they're kind of weak and are really struggling with the stations, so it's going to take them a long time to do any damage. I don't really care about that. Only a few months, though. Then, just chaos breaks out. So, full disclosure, I am a bit of a dum-dum, and I accidentally exited out of this the first time I saw it because I wasn't paying attention and thought it was just one of the other empires. Whoops-a-daisy. So because of that, I had to reload the game like I have to when I come back to a new recording session, so all of the stats at the top are currently messed up. At the end of the month, they all set back to being their correct stats, because then they take certain calculations into play. So, ignore the fact that the numbers up top are kind of weird at the moment. Decoding repeating automated subspace transmission. Establishing translation matrix. Alert! Messages heavily corrupted. Attempting reconstitution of message fragments. 3 message fragments partially recovered. With dyslexia, that only took me 3 attempts to read. Access fragment 1. We are the Bob. Architects of the Galactic Gateway Network. If you are receiving this transmission, then we can only Bob, that we are not too late. Perhaps one of our message boys somehow slipped past the Bob and escaped the cluster before it was closed off. Do not, repeat, do not restore access to the dormant gateway in the start. Oh, this is the L gate. Someone has access to the L gate. I thought this was the Scourge. The Grey Tempest. You've just unleashed... Who unleashed the Grey Tempest? I mean, that's something we would have done. Why did you do it? That was weird. So I've just declared war on pretty much everyone I can. There are a few exceptions purely because I don't have the influence to enable me to declare war. I can't make a rivalry with these fellows, for instance, which is really annoying. But I will declare war with them as I get the resources to do so. I am currently under the extra influence modifier, so soon I will be able to do that. We are currently at war with all of those empires. So most of them. We are at war with these. So this whole empire here, this empire here, this empire here, this empire here, obviously, this one here, this one here. We are at war with these guys over here. We are at war with the Crusaders, as I mentioned before. So only the state, and I think maybe only the state and these guys? Not you. Let's have a look. Nope, only the states then, really, we're not at war with. And one of the fallen empires, which won't really do much at the moment anyway, so... Yep, lots of wars.
One of our stations is beset by enemies.
And suddenly fighting lots of ships. You know, pure battleship groups are not particularly good versus normal empires. Yeah, we're gonna need to get some forces back. Yeah, they're not really attacking us, so... Everyone there, please move here, with the exception of this one, which is still being built up. Then they can wage war there. You guys just go straight into their territory. Let's crush this area here and grab all those worlds. And loads of ground forces are being built. You can join them. That's the one area we're actually taking. This shouldn't be too difficult after the first wave, since the enemy are kind of everywhere. This station should beat this fleet. Good. There's a random fleet there, which is really annoying. Fleets everywhere. We have such weird ships. Just complete anti-armor. Great versus the Scourge. Pretty rubbish versus normal empires, honestly. Okay, there we are. That's them pretty much dealt with. So now, let's get all of our ground forces and move them in. We could just jump them in, but we're still under attack, so just make your way there normally.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Well, one force just surrendered with us. Didn't actually expect that to happen, purely because now what's occurred is I've grabbed the system I claimed. I didn't expect that to happen because I didn't have control over that system. It was this system over here. Just because it was cheap, but also out of the way, so I wouldn't accidentally get control over it. I didn't expect them to surrender. So, one war is over, but don't worry, in 10 years we'll just declare war again over and over again. And looks like the L Gate is currently destroying everything in their territory. Possibly times 2. Oh no, it's like ruined the bomb shape. That's a shame. Just realised that the L gate being opened is actually really bad for us. First of all, we've just lost this system, and the Grey Tempest are attacking us. Not a huge issue, we can kill them pretty easily. But it means now, once the lovely Scourge manage to find their way to an L gate, they can go here and then bounce over to here. So now we have essentially another wormhole in our territory. Why did they have to do that? Well, it's happened. The Scourge is now officially in our territory. So, I am now recalling the fleets from over there, putting them over here, and we are going to try and defend this area with our lives, because this is a direct way to get into our empire, our main empire. I'm also realizing very quickly that these fleets are terrible versus normal empires, just utterly abysmal. For their fleet power, they get so many losses. On the upside, though, we are now bombarding the second planet here, which is worth a small fortune, so that will soon give us more energy, which we do desperately need. Thankfully, of course, alloys are still worth an absolute fortune. You're still growing, okay. The problem is, as soon as I move you, that's when they'll attack. But I really want you to move down to here. Yeah, it turns out going to war with everyone really stretches your resources, especially when you're not a particularly strong empire. Weakest empire, going with one of the hardest challenges I've done so far. Great. A little while later, and we have a bit of a problem. We have very high war exhaustion with the group over here and the Crusaders, so most likely those wars are about to end as well. Of course, once again, if the war ends as soon as we can go back to war, we will. Oh, mighty Shroud, please. Nope, we don't even get happiness. Going to war with so many empires at least is achieving one major goal. They are not fighting off the Scourge. They are not allying with each other. They are not doing anything. They are focusing on us. And we are irrelevant in the end. At least that's something. So, sadly, we were forced into status quo over here. We have now grabbed 2 of their worlds, though in fact 3 of their worlds, which should produce us loads of energy over the coming months, which is really, really nice. You guys go home and get repaired up and upgraded, that's fine. You stay there, ships over here are still being upped. You can move over here again now because of the truces. And apparently we're being attacked. This is so difficult. Status quo has annoyingly been forced with the Crusaders. We have lost a lot of territory, so that was expected, and we also lost a lot of ships. Our minus energy, at least now, is nowhere near as bad as it was. Now I've re-established our trade routes. And we are continuing to build more ships, which is increasing our cost. Our navy capacity is terrible. It's mostly because we need so many bastions to keep this really terrible trade route system going as well. Again, this empire has been built very badly. Probably the least proud I've ever been in a Stellaris run, but this is definitely fun. I mean, this is stressful. Lots of pausing, lots of repositioning our troops, only just about holding off. Even though most of the enemies are quite weak, being attacked constantly by everyone really did take its toll, and soon we can declare war again, since most of them I still have claims which I didn't actually get. We are now at war with the state.
The crusade of the righteous begins.
Finally had enough influence to do that. Okay, slowly building up. The Scourge take way longer to spread than I originally expected. It's because they don't build their new stations particularly quickly, and they don't have enough landing forces, so they just sort of sit around on planets for way too long.
Heretic fleet detected.
Yeah, that's not really a threat. Get off my land! Yeah, the shield and armor ignoring fleets are definitely better than the counter armor fleets. Just because they're better against more targets. Of course, if I'm just going against the endgame crisis, maybe this is better. Again, I haven't ran the numbers, but yeah. Shroud, please. I will speak with the presence. Covenant with the instrument of desire. Well, that's new. Slanesh? Before we can reach out for the presence, it reaches out for us. Its thoughts coil and twist themselves around our minds of the telepaths, bargaining. It is the instrument of desire, and it will grant us wealth, power, prestige, all that we have ever desired. All that we will ever desire. The cost? A small matter, little more than a cover fee. It only wants what's best for us. It will help us, guide us, direct our ambitions and dreams. If we will only accept it into our hearts. I still want the end of the cycle, but it's so late now into the game, and another end game crisis has already occurred, and the end of the cycle is such a rare one. I feel like we should go with this. We desire the end of all things, and this is offering that as the endgame crisis occurs. I will form the covenant with Slaanesh. As usual, a quick disclaimer, like I always say when I mention Slaanesh. Slaanesh is one of the 4 Chaos Gods in Warhammer 40k. Obviously, I'm a Warhammer 40k nerd, and that influences a lot of this stuff, but Slaanesh is one of the only true not safe for work elements within Warhammer 40k, and it is really not safe for work. Bordering on 18 plus a lot of the time, because they are the god of desire and excess, and you can imagine the insanity which comes from that kind of stuff. So if you want to Google it, do it at your own discretion, you have been warned. So, we have made a deal with Slaanesh. Suddenly businesses are booming, rare and valuable resources are being found. But what was that cost that they spoke of? I'm sure it's nothing bad. For the glory of the god of excess.
Heretic fleet. Incoming transmission.
I mean, I'll accept your money, but I'm still gonna go back to war with you. This time making a claim they will never accept without us actually taking the system. And then back to war with these guys.
The crusade of the righteous begins.
So, if I don't mention it in the future, I am always going to try and declare war every chance I have. Wow. You've lost a lot of territory there. Why? Wow. That's a weird way of saying wow. Ah, Elgate. Good chance that was the nanites. The Scourge are finally expanding again, which is nice to see, but so slowly. And yet they are absolutely terrifying. Oh, mighty Shroud, once more, aid us. Okay, different type of jump drive, which I think is better than the regular, which is nice, since we are now getting the Zro resource. I'll definitely make sure to research that. And so, we can go back to war with these fellows again.
The crusade of the righteous begins.
And now, if we're victorious, what's going to happen is we're going to take over the entire trade network here, which will make things a lot easier for us. And actually, we need to destroy these as well, because right now that's blocking our trade. You have loads of ships here, so where's the weakest one? You. Teleport over there, get nice and aggressive, kill that tiny little fleet, take back our systems, and then we just go like this, and take this entire chunk. And then that's pretty much that for us waging war aggressively, at least in terms of actually getting more space. Still, the swarms are kind of just chilling. They are finally destroying some new areas, though, so well done to you, Scourge. Well done. The coalition has surrendered. And we're about to win versus these fellows as well. Now taking over the last world, which will mean that they will likely surrender then. The next time we'll go to war, we'll have claims over here or something, so they won't surrender with any real ease. These enemies are still fighting me, and by the looks of things, fighting these as well. Seems like everyone's warring with each other also. The swarms are now breaking through here, and actually doing some damage. Finally. And the construction vessel is moving as well, so it's now making some more space. So, yep, the Scourge is moving around slowly. It just needs more ground forces and more builders. Swarm versus Awakened Empire. That point defense is actually keeping them alive quite well. And that's why we've got so much point defense on our cruisers.
Heretic fleet detected.
But eventually, sheer numbers will win.
Heretic fleet detected.
And victory once more, and you take that back, please. Okay, we're about to get a lot of energy from these worlds. Some of them had almost 300 or 400 trade value. Problem is, that's a lot more stations we can't deal with. Yeah, that is one of the big problems of this empire at the moment. We just don't have the navy capacity or anything. Did you manage to sneak in behind this fleet? That is really annoying, lads. Oh well, take all those back, then move back and attack them again. You, grab, move back. Okay. So back to turtling now. The swarm continues to expand. I see workers and landing forces finally around here, so hopefully soon this whole section will be Scourge. Rejoice, world. You are being consumed by the crisis. The Shroud gives us bonus happiness this time. Lovely. Get away from my systems! Don't you know this is for your own good? Accept the Scourge into your hearts. Or just let them devour your hearts, one of the two. What did I just say? Okay, so it's time to be perfectly honest. Right now, there's less than 24 hours before the new DLC hits. That is, the new DLC to the game, which will also change a lot of the game itself. So I am now becoming honestly worried that the Scourge are not going to be able to devour everything before then. They are just so slow at taking new areas. And it's not even a matter of I can just AFK and just wait. Just that might take too long still to get this video ready and up before then. So, still holding out hope, but there is a very real concern we may have to stop before then. Also, at the moment, almost everything I have is now just alloy production. I can sell them for more than enough energy to buy everything else we need, so I'm just kind of waiting around. Ooh, energy. I have seen this fleet here move back and forth at least 10 times since I've been paying attention. I am slowly being driven mad watching this swarm. They are slowly gathering systems, but just so very slowly. Be more evil! Hello, Shroud. And we're cursed. Sorry for doubting you, Crisis. Well, we're about to do something a bit stupid. We're about to jump into the Scourge's territory because we have found an injured queen. And we are going to save it, even if its brethren will not. My landing forces almost took this world back. No, it's a Scourge world. Leave it. We're on their side, remember? In a roundabout way. We don't get in the Scourge's way. Oh good, they're finally taking out this section. Lovely. Long live the Queen! We have managed to heal the worst of the Queen's injuries. And now, using a small implant, we can control it. Lovely. The Queen is ours. Which should slowly spawn its own little legion. Oh, I can't jump though, that's really annoying. Are you moving? Okay, what we need to do then is very quickly carve our way through. This is really annoying because I'm going to actively damage some of the Scourge here, but yeah, we need to get this Queen out. Queen, follow one of the fleets. Don't go on your own, make sure you never go first. In fact, you're going to be on passive if I can actually put you on passive. Ah, what I meant to say was evasive, but sure. Go! Ah, isn't she lovely? Oh, I'm so sorry, Scourge. Wow, yeah, we melt them. Guess that's what happens when you have anti-armor and anti-hull, when the enemies are made of only armor and hull. Goodbye. Okay, good. The Scourge managed to make it there. Come on, Scourge. Please get past. We'll only fight that next fleet if we have to, but by the looks of things, it's probably going to catch up. The Queen is incredibly slow. Oh, look. Aww, it has babies. There have now been a grand total of 3 machine uprisings during this particular run. Why does no one ever pay attention to their synths? O mighty Shroud, the enemy are now attacking our systems, and so we seek guidance. Still probably want to research more. Could you stop doing... Minus armor, really? Shroud, you're being very mean.
Construction complete.
That was a pretty efficient melting. Now, go after the other empires. Oh, you kind of are, actually. There's 2 systems here which have just vanished recently. Ooh, more vanishing. Good boys. Yes, you are. You're the best little Scourgies. So, apparently, almost all of the galaxy is now at war with us once again, which is glorious, and the Hive Mind, who we are indeed at war with, has taken an opportunity to take over almost all of the old Crusader territory in this area. So, well done to the Hive Mind, you've done incredibly well. Meanwhile, the Scourge, well, the Scourge has been pretty busy as well. This whole section is now Scourge, and most of this area is as well. I am now getting some tech together, which means now we can use the Swarm Strikers, and we can use the Scourge missiles, which actually seem to be really good versus the Scourge, because they do bonus armor and bonus hull damage, whilst ignoring shields. Of course, the shield part doesn't really matter, but yeah, considering they're just hull and armor, that is really, really good. Wow, the Swarm Strikers actually ignore some of the armor as well. Maybe we should start using some of those. But to be fair, right now, our current loadout is doing really well. They keep on attacking here, and almost no damage hits any of these, because they are all using so much point defense, and they do so much armor damage, they just melt the Scourge before any of their weapons can have any effect. So I'm just going to keep these sat here. Meanwhile, I've moved a lot of forces over here, because now this area is a giant battleground, and the wormhole is right there. Yeah, lots of empires can attack us there, and we keep getting attacked from over here as well. Lots and lots of stuff is going on. So taking a look at the Scourge missile, at the moment I actually have only the lowest level of the regular missile type, but if we compare them with the Torps, yeah, almost double damage on average, and then longer range, and bonus armor and hull damage rather than just armor damage, 1 more HP, way more evasion. Ooh, the tracking difference though, 10% versus 5%, accuracy is 100, accuracy is 100. Yeah, this seems really, really brutal versus the Swarm, versus the Scourge. So I'm very tempted by that, honestly. That and then just one skin anti-armor. And that looks terrifying. Yeah, sure. We're going to be transforming all of our corvettes into this, because why not? Suddenly really happy we're doing bonus damage, and really happy we have so many flat cannons. And yet the swarms are still around us. Wow, you dealt with those well. Well done, little strike craft. Also, I have actually seen the strike craft attacking the enemy strike craft and the missiles, so I can confirm that yes, the scout class strike craft do indeed act as a really cool version of point defense. Well done, lads. Some ships lost, but not too many. That's great. Just keep on holding there. That seems to be where they keep on attacking us mostly. Occasionally, one appears over here, but this fleet is good enough to deal with one small fleet. They need to hurry up, though. I want to see if any events are going to occur. I don't want to spoil it for myself and look it up. Stop attacking us! For a start, you don't stand a chance. Secondly, there are so many more places to devour. We just stopped being at war with you. Don't think for a second you're our friends. No, what are you doing? It's sending a construction vessel into our territory. We could just not attack it, but it's not going to get through our territory. It's as simple as that. So, goodbye. Oh, a Titan shot to the face for a worker vessel. Oddly enough, kills it. Hello there. You are one of the fallen empires I attacked a long time ago, or at least declared war on. Finally fighting me.
Detected. The spirits have
Well, I'm afraid, by the looks of things, that wasn't a very good fight for you, now was it? I'm now coming to the realization it's currently the 2451. I might just have to sacrifice this area over here. They keep on throwing everything they have against us, just one after another after another. There's a critical mass of our ships here, so we lose very little per attack. Only a few thousand alloys per attack. It's very easy to constantly restock these ships. No problem whatsoever. But they're not expanding. They expanded a little bit over here. They grabbed one more system over here. Whoa, a whole system. And apparently, after looking it up, if they get 20% of the galaxy, a second event occurs, or at least it used to. I am going to check to make sure that is up to date in a second, but yeah, it's a bit annoying because they have other ways they can go. They've got this over here, they've got all of this over here, and the problem I have in my head is if I do retreat, let's say I give them all of this territory, including the really good planets, will they just jump through here and then start attacking here? Or will they maybe go off to the side? I don't know. Going to give it a few more years. Then we'll do that. I am rapidly running out of time, though. This video has taken so long. Yep. It's just that over and over and over again. So, what I've decided to do is I'm going ahead and retreating all of our forces through the wormhole, and they're just going to sit there. So that way all of this area is very, very protected. Nothing can really get through here. Each of them has a decent amount of protection. Honestly, this is the weakest, but this is only really accessible by the normal empires. Since I don't think the Scourge use gateways, if they do, then of course I'll need to start rearranging that. It's no big problem. Down here we have our forces still, yet we have 2 huge fleets and then 1 regular fleet there. So, once again, we wait. I swear they are stuck on a loop. They attacked this, they knocked it out, then they moved away, so the outpost is now rebuilt. However, they have just recently got a system, I think, over here. I think. Maybe? Was that the system they just went into? I can't tell anymore. I'm starting to lose hope in the crisis. So, it's now 1 AM, and I've kind of hit that point where I can't see how I can continue, and it's really killing me, because if I leave it here, this is the most disappointing end to a series in a while. Except for the series I just sort of left for dead. But either way, you get the idea. This is disappointing, and it's horrible, and it's boring, and it's going to kill me to post this video knowing this is the end. So what's happened is that the enemy AI seems to have just turned off. It seems to be just absolutely brain dead right now, not working correctly at all, and the construction vessel is currently stuck over here, and stuck over here, and the enemies keep on just cycling through, taking out a station, yay, the station's dead, moving on to the next, which of course means the station comes back, because there was a planet there, and occasionally it takes this system, but it never uses a construction vessel to gain it, its units then move away, and that system comes back under their control. That's happened now 6 times since I've started watching it. And the reason why I know about those construction vessels is because for once I've even went into console commands, which I hate doing. I've turned off the mods, I've turned them back on, and if we go into observe mode, ta-da, there we are, we'll see we have some landing parties over here as well. Then we have the construction vessel just kind of sitting here, doing nothing. Then the other construction vessel is here, yep, there it is, or over here. It kind of cycles between the two. Yep, there we go, no orders. It can easily take these systems, but it simply won't. The Scourge has apparently been sated, and is not expanding. I have been trying to fix this for well over an hour now. And I may have just gave up. There's a new DLC tomorrow, apparently it's better with the AI as well, which is great. The new patch, which is free for everyone, is also coming out with those changes to the AI. There's loads I want to do there, and I feel like if I keep on trying to do this now, I'm just going to burn myself out. I don't know where to go from here, and if I do end up quitting now, I just want to say, I am so sorry. And here's the thing, we are more than strong enough to deal with the Scourge. The Scourge is nowhere near as strong as we are anymore. It has more force count, but it's not using them. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter that it has more force count. Oh yeah, it's also attacking this station and doing the same thing as well. Attacks the station, runs away. What I'm going to do is allow fast forward, essentially, by changing the ticks per turn. I'm going to stay away from my own empire. Maybe the events will occur, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back into my own empire. I'm going to try and figure it out, but I just wanted you to know how on the edge of just giving up I am right now. Just as an example of what I've been talking about. So this fleet goes in here, it checks it out, checks that it's already been destroyed, then goes back. It will then loop all the way around here. And it'll keep on doing that over and over and over again. They have taken one world on the other hand, but this has 82 population still to go, and that's going to take years upon years upon years of in-game time to actually destroy. It's also, for some reason, leaving these planets alone, which are in the middle of its swarm. Still trying to fix it, though. Okay, so, what I've been up to is I've attacked some of their systems, and the construction vessel has actually came down and started to repair things. It's moved. It's about to repair this one, apparently, according to its current goals, its current orders. So if it does that, maybe it'll try and grab this system, or do something other than just sit there. That's the goal. It's happened. The event has actually happened, so me doing that worked. Look, they grabbed a few systems, they actually started reactivating themselves. I had to kickstart the Scourge into doing what it's meant to do, which is eating everything. Now, I have some weird pets, but apparently the Scourge wants to be one of my weird pets. Rise of the Sentinels. Okay, so I've managed to stay spoiler-free. I knew something would happen. I didn't know what it was. Here it is. Some kind of militant order dedicated towards the fighting of the Scourge has surfaced in the galaxy. Their membership seems to be made up primarily of the disposed and downtrodden, refugees, war veterans, and others who have lost everything to the onslaught of the Scourge. Despite this, their ramshackle fleets have somehow managed to win several engagements against the hunter-killer swarms. Wow. So this is essentially... what I'm reading here is this is the surviving group, or groups, after the Scourge has wiped out a galaxy. This is what is hunting them. And it's the remnants of all the other galaxies bound into one. Or at least that's how I'm reading it. Might be wrong. I'm very tired right now, so I might be very wrong. There are unconfirmed reports that their fleets include starships of unusual design. Actually, you know what, reading this again, maybe it isn't from the other galaxies. I was just assuming it because, you know, something's chasing them. Maybe it's not this. Maybe this is just from what's already been devoured. Because, yeah, the downtrodden and the refugees could just be our galaxy. Who are these people? Ooh, you're cabbages. Well, actually, no, not quite cabbages. You're weird, is what I'm going to call you. We are the Sentinels. Our order has sworn to halt the murderous rampage of the Scourge no matter the cost. Where other empires crumble, we stand firm. Where they abandon their own to the Scourge, we give them the means to fight back. Ignore us, though. I am Grand Master Corgus, the first of our order. Do not be deceived by my appearance. Sentinels are recruited from all species in the galaxy. Okay, so it is just this galaxy. I may have been wrong here. We only ask that your government help us. If we destroy them, if we destroy the Sentinels, we've essentially saved the Scourge. And I certainly count that as a victory, like the one I was going for in the first place, because apparently I can't stay around until these eventually devour the galaxy. It's just not possible because of the limited time frame. Really bad timing with the DLC. Maybe I'll come back after the DLC hits and I'll do this again if I can get back to the save file. Anyway, how are you able to fight back? Many Sentinels have military backgrounds. We are survivors from a dozen different fleets that fought the Scourge and lost. As Sentinels, we have learned from the mistakes of the past and work hard never to repeat them. Also, I believe I mentioned that we recruit from all species in the galaxy. This includes the Elder races. Okay. We have the support of several influential factions within the, I believe that's the Caretakers. Yep, yes it is. Both ships and resources. Okay, so where are you based? We've established our headquarters near the black hole. The coordinates of this previously uncharted black hole were given to us by, once again, the Caretakers. They also aided in the construction of Sentinel Alpha, our primary space installation, and home port to our fleets. Goodbye. Well then. Where are they? Let's find that place then, shall we? You know, using the search option. So just to confirm, no, they're not from different galaxies. Aha! Okay, we found them. Can we be hostile? We're just gonna teleport over here. We mean you no harm. The end is coming and you can do nothing to stop it. Okay, so then. Oh wow, look at the different ships you have. Very good tech as well. I'm assuming you're going to basically share the tech with the Fallen Empire. You're not all that strong, though, according to the list. Yeah, you have ships of, like, everyone's type. That is interesting. Refugee fleets, everything. The question is, though, what else do they do? I'm going to have a quick read-up on what they're going to do in the future. Obviously, for our lore, we need to destroy them, so it doesn't really matter. Even if they do something really fascinating, amazing, truly shiny, we're still going to utterly obliterate them, because we're mental, to say the least. Well, as soon as our jump drives cool down, I'm just going to chill here whilst our weapons cool down, then we're going to open fire. So it seems like after a while we can donate to the Sentinels. The Sentinels will also donate ships to us under certain circumstances, and they have a bonus damage. There we are. Sentinel training, they do bonus damage versus the Scourge themselves. So naturally, they are incredibly powerful, and as you can see, they are going out right now and attacking the Scourge. They are completely on the side of the galaxy. If the Scourge gets too much more of the galaxy, they become even more powerful, and they will get new fleets over time. Once again, you can donate to them, at least in terms of energy, though it seems like that takes a while to take effect. They have 172 days until we open fire. So a slight correction, at the 50% mark, rather than just the Sentinels becoming more powerful, what actually happens is they get a breakthrough, giving all empires plus 20% damage to the lovely, lovely Scourge, basically making all empires way more effective at repelling the Scourge, which of course at that point control half the galaxy, which is never going to happen at this rate, so yeah. Goodbye, Sentinels. What even was that you just fired at? For the glory of the Scourge! Ooh, that's brutal. Right, did we not really destroy them to sort of... Huh, so the starbase I guess will eventually come back, but as long as we sit here, it won't. So that's that then, really. At this point, there's nothing in the way of the Scourge devouring everything. We massively outclass all other empires, and honestly, if we wanted to kill the Scourge, we could. We are in a position where I'm happy to say all of the criteria of this empire has been reached. Sadly, we didn't get to see the Scourge devour everything, but that's just because I can't be here for another 7 or 8 hours just shepherding the Scourge. They are my pets now. The Scourge are an aggressive pet. They hate me, but I love them. Like my tarantulas, or my scorpion, or one of my snakes sometimes, or my praying mantis, or my pet ants, or actually a lot of my pets hate me. I love them, and that's why they're nice and safe and well fed. So, now having the Scourge as pets, thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad we at least got to see that ending, so it is somewhat satisfying. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't come across as too negative. I still love this game to bits, but there are moments where my mind seems to break a little bit. Also, we are apparently under attack over here, since I just completely focused over here. Doesn't really matter too much, since I could easily just status quo or send the ships back. In fact, yeah, there's all our fleet, so you're going back already. You can just jump on back now, and that'll be fine. If you have enjoyed the season, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Despite this ending, I will honestly say this has been my favourite Let's Play so far of Stellaris because I love the idea of the Children of Crisis, and next time I have a playthrough, I really want to get into the roleplay element again, really have a story for the Empire, and especially since the new DLC is all about uncovering lost artifacts and everything, I think that would be a really cool idea. So if you have any suggestions, the comments below are where you can put it, and with that, thank you again for watching. I'm going to have a little bit of whiskey, then I'm going to get some sleep. Thank you and goodbye. This video should now be out on the day of the release of the DLC. I'm not good at timing, am I?